Beautiful. Now that that is out of the way, I just want to ask that if you have any questions throughout the webinar, please feel free to put those into the chat and we will take care of answering those for you as the panelists. And if you are to have any questions specific to any school, please address the school by name so that we know to keep a lookout for those questions. And with all of that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Dan.
Well, again, good evening, and we are here to talk about the pre-college support programs, and part of my job is to talk about the first year transitions. Abby, if you would, next slide, please. And again, I work at The Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio, and Columbus, Ohio is the 14th largest city in the United States, and it's a beautiful place if you're interested in coming to the Midwest. So I'm hoping that many of you students have already started your college search process. And so to begin the pre-college support programs, we want to talk real quickly about the ways that you can learn about the schools before you apply or before you enroll. I'm hoping that you may have taken advantage of some college reps that may have come into your high school to visit this fall, or perhaps you've been able to go to a college fair somewhere in your county or in your local area. I'm hoping that you may have already been on some websites and gotten on some mailing lists for colleges. Those are all wonderful ways that you can get to know about a college before you even apply. One of the things that's most important, though, is we do want you to make sure that you visit campuses before you make any decisions. There are a number of ways to do that. First of all, most colleges and universities have a website where you can register or make a reservation to visit the college campus during the school year. That's always beneficial so that you can actually see what the environment is like on a normal school day. So please go ahead and sign up for your campus visits and try to give the college or university a couple of weeks notice so that they can make sure that it's an informative and fun visit for you. I also want to highlight that among the STARS University partners, again, there are 32 universities across the country that participate in STARS. Many of them offer fly-in programs and drive-in programs that would allow you to visit their campuses at no cost to you. So they may pick up the cost of your flight or the cost of driving, and then also hotel and food while you're on that campus. So please stay connected with STARS, keep looking in the STARS network, because that's where you will find out about some of those fly-in and drive-in programs. You also want to keep looking at the schools that you're looking at for any kind of open houses, perhaps for the College of Engineering or for honors students or some other specific interest. There are a number of good community-based organizations like Gear Up or Trio that might also offer some bus trips to colleges in your area. So please keep in touch with them. And then most colleges and universities offer some kind of bridge programs over the summer that might allow you to come and either do a camp for a week or a couple of days on campus during the summer before you enroll, or even sometimes between junior and senior year. But again, just keep in touch with the universities that you're interested in to learn about those. So those are the ways that you can learn about the colleges before you get there. But once you get to your campus, and once you've made a decision, you've been admitted and you've confirmed that you're planning to enroll, all colleges and universities have a whole host of programs that are designed to help you get acclimated to that campus and to learn how to navigate that new environment. We know that you're going to face some challenges, if you're going from a rural community or a small town to maybe a large city or a large public university, and we want to make sure that you're making those transitions smoothly. So a lot of colleges have an office called the First Year Experience Office. Those are the people who put together all of the programming that's designed to help you succeed, not just your first year, but all through your four-year undergraduate program. So some of those kind of experiences might be an early arrival or an early engagement program. Perhaps the honors program allows students to move into the residence halls a week or so before classes start, just so that you get to meet friends, you get to get connected to the right programs, and learn about the campus a little bit before other students do. One of the biggest programs that you'll hear about before you enroll is the orientation schedules. Um, and again, most universities and colleges will do orientation in the summer before you enroll that fall. Orientation is a great time to, again, meet people, kind of learn about the campus and the traditions. But the business part of orientation is for you to sit down one-on-one with your academic advisor and let your advisor know what your plans are and your goals are so that they can then help you look through your four-year plan for your major and your degree, and also just to help you hammer out your schedule for the fall semester. At most colleges and universities, when you leave orientation, you will have already requested your classes for the fall signed off by your academic advisor. So please make sure you're looking for orientation information. Make sure that you attend those. Parents are generally invited to attend those as well. But keep that in mind. That's a great program to help you succeed. Most colleges and universities, when you get to campus in the fall, will also have some kind of a welcome week, which is, again, a lot of programming designed to help you to make sure you're meeting the right people and getting connected in the right ways, and just feeling more comfortable on the campus and feeling like you belong there. So in our welcome week here at Ohio State, we do have convocation, which is kind of the first kickoff for the academic year. It's actually an academic kickoff. So our students all um, come to campus, and the first day for convocation, they get to hear from the president and the student life vice president and some of the student government leaders and other leaders around campus. So it's just a way to kind of welcome you to campus and make sure that you're finding the right resources. Most colleges also have some kind of a peer leader system where they have upper class students who are leaders around campus and engaged in a lot of different activities around campus, who are trained to help you through that transitional first year. So they may invite you to different events. They will meet with you periodically through your freshman year, depending on how often you need to meet. But they're really just there to kind of be your big brother or your big sister on campus, to help you find the right resources and to make sure that you're adjusting well as an incoming freshman. And then a lot of colleges and universities also offer some kind of a first year success series, which are not necessarily classes, but are more like webinars or seminars that may be a couple times in the semester, maybe just once in the semester, but they're about things that you would actually not expect to find in a classroom. So it's mostly about some kind of wellness, but making sure that you're succeeding academically. So you may hear about learning and strategies and writing skills and where to go for math tutoring, those kind of things. It may be physical wellness, just to make sure that, stress management and those kind of things are taken care of. Also things like financial management and setting up a budget if it's the first time that you've been an independent student, and making some of those decisions on your own. So keep an eye out for those and take advantage of those. They're there to help you to make sure that you're able to be a success once you get to campus. I just have a couple of slides here just to show you some pictures. At Ohio State, we have what we call owls, which are our welcome leaders. Those are freshmen who get to come to campus about 4 days earlier than most students. They get to meet people right away. They get to learn the campus a little earlier, and they go through a little training to help all of our other incoming freshmen move into the residence halls. It's a great opportunity, particularly for those who are social and just want to meet a lot of people. Part of our welcome week, like I said, is the convocation. One of the big parts of our convocation at Ohio State is that we also have a section for people to learn about the city of Columbus. We take bus trips into the city so that people can learn where the professional sports teams are, where the world-class zoo is, where the best shopping is, where some restaurants are. That we want to get you not only familiar with our campus and comfortable on our campus, but we also want you to feel comfortable in your new city. So we do provide some opportunities to do that during Welcome Week as well. And this picture is a picture of our student involvement fair, which happens on the first day of Welcome Week. We have about 1,400 student organizations on campus, and so most of them set up tables and booths all over campus. And then the new students just get to walk through and talk to the upperclassmen about, what does this organization do? How often do you meet? How can I get involved? It's all a great way to meet people and find your niche and the kind of things that you're interested in outside of the classroom. It's also a great way to pick up some nice swag. It's always, free hats and free t-shirts and frisbees and lanyards and free pizza coupons and all that kind of thing. So again, we want you to feel comfortable. We have a lot of programs set up so that when you get to campus, you are going to find your niche and find your friend circle and your support systems. So again, keep an eye out for those, and you will be notified about all of these once you commit to the university. Next slide, please. And I think now is when I'm going to turn it over to Lawrence, my colleague Lawrence from Brown University. Lawrence, take it away, please.
Dan, thank you so much for that. And what great information, my friend. Thank you very much for that. Also, just wanted to make a pause for station identification, and thank you to Jackie and others who are mining the chat. And I know Dan will join, and I will do that after I share. Please keep those great questions flowing that are in the Q&A. We'll be sure to get back to those as quickly as we can. Certainly, we want to make sure we do all of that during our time. We may have some time at the end for Q&A, but just gratitude for colleagues doing that in the chat. We're talking about campus supports. What in the world is with the price of college? Why is it so expensive? And boy, it will be tone deaf if we talk to you all about the wondrous world of college admissions and higher education and didn't talk about how to afford it, because it feels important. So I'll be talking through this time both about the financial aid process. You'll hear a little bit about what it is at Brown. You hear a little bit about what it is in general in the process, and I hope in that knitting that you find a lot of the answers. For context, I'm a first-generation college student from Jersey City, New Jersey. My dad was a mailman and my mom was a nurse. So going to college was certainty in our house. How we were going to afford it was not. And so spending 15 years working in high schools and community-based organizations before I came to college admissions was really instructive. And I hope to share with you as I would think about my own students and certainly any of my children. Of those, there are 6. One graduated college, one is currently in, and I have 4 to go. So if affording college is important to you, trust me, it's important to me. We should get started. We'll go to the next slide, please, Abigail. The person talking to you is from Brown University. And where in the world is Brown University? It feels like a really, really good question to ask. I know we'll locate our slide deck in a moment. It escaped us for a moment. Depending on where you're checking into from around the country, Brown University, which is our next slide, Abigail, is located in Providence, Rhode Island. Where in the world is Providence, Rhode Island? Look at the timing. There we go. So, fun fact, Rhode Island is the smallest state in the country, only 42 miles of state. And yet, in the smallest state in the country, which, by the way, is called the Ocean State, isn't that irony, is the crown jewel of Rhode Island, and that's Providence, Rhode Island. We are, if you're trying to echolocate where we are, we're only 15 minutes from our international airport. That's TF Green, which, fun fact, TF Green, not Logan, which is in Boston, is the official airport of the New England Patriots, for whatever that means. We're 5 minutes away from public transportation, and we're certainly in a stone's throw or maybe a pebble's throw of our local beaches. So beautiful community, smallest state in the country, largest per capita college town in the country as well. So Providence is absolutely in the middle of somewhere that you can get to from anywhere. So when talking about affording college, which is certainly a longer conversation, but we will make sure to fit within the agenda here. What is financial aid? What's the cost of attendance? We'll talk a little bit about the process at Brown. We'll talk about estimated family responsibility. You may also hear that called estimated family contribution, EFC. We'll talk about financial need, calculators, initiatives, and all of that fun stuff. And we'll knock it out in 7 more minutes. As we pursue the process, what is financial aid? Here's the simple explanation as you look through some of these sundries. I bet if you're home on this webinar, you're probably just taking screenshots of it, which is super helpful. When you go onto any of our websites and you calculate the total cost of attendance, that is tuition and fees and room and board and all of the down list costs, that total cost less whatever are our affordances and scholarships and financial aid, whether it's need-based or merit-based, so we'll get into that. Whatever the institution costs, you subtract that from the total. On the other side is the cost to you and your family. In the middle of that is a lot of good work, and I think a lot of good information that you'll find here. But financial aid, just some of the components. Grants, that's money from the institution that you do not have to pay back. Scholarships as well. Work study or campus jobs, should you qualify, that you're also able to work to contribute toward college. What a lot of us are trying to work to make sure that you don't have is indebtedness vis-a-vis loans. But in terms of what financial aid is and its components, it's here. The cost of attendance. I feel like I drum that up. A lot of times we take a cursory look at websites, and I can imagine that for some students here, you might be the driver of the process in your household. You might just stop, and it would be a mistake, but an understandable one, to just look at tuition and fees. Well, that's books and classrooms and maybe some Wi-Fi, but it doesn't feed you and it doesn't house you. Those are direct costs, the direct costs that come from attending your college or university. What it doesn't tend to, which is important, is to think about personal costs, indirect costs, traveling, etc. But when you combine your direct costs and indirect costs, you get the cost of attendance. Each one of our institutions here is August and Rich, and they're different in terms of the cost of attendance. For every school on your list, the cost of attendance or the COA should be something you investigate. Okay, the net price calculator. Here goes a 50-50 ball as far as I'm concerned. On any of our sites, you can find the net price calculator. The net price calculator is where you can take the total cost of attendance for the college or university that you're interested in, put in your family's financial information, and I will note here, it's basic financial information, and it will calculate for you the net calculated price, or what you can anticipate your family's cost would be. My caution there is that because many of our institutions require deeper financial information from you, which ultimately is a good thing, what you get from the net price calculator may not always be the most accurate, and what you end up paying is often less. However, to get a start, the net price calculator is pretty valuable. So the Brown Promise, and this is talking about the financial aid program at Brown, which is not necessarily unique to us, and we offer it. So I think within it are some terms that you would be wise to investigate. Not every institution makes the same offers, and many institutions can be supportive in different ways. Yet here go some terms you should know. At least that's true about Brown and also some of our colleagues that are here. Number one, we are a need-blind institution. That means that when you apply for admission to Brown University, the sole basis of your admission is on your academic merit. We are looking at your transcript and your essays and your teacher recommendations and your testing. We are looking at your academic credentials. We have no knowledge of, nor are we interested in, your family's ability to pay. That means if they're able to buy a building or buy a key to a lock, we have no knowledge, nor is it important. Because of that, we are entirely need-based. So at Brown, we wouldn't offer merit scholarship, but we would offer need-based aid based on what your family's needs are calculated through. And those are two forms. One is the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, and the CSS profile, which allow us to get data-rich information year over year in case there are variances or changes, because we know life be life, and so the math got to be mathing. We then calculate your family's need, and we meet 100% of your family's demonstrated need. So let's make up a scenario. Let's say Brown was $60,000 a year, and it was calculated that your family contribution was only $5,000 a year. Then Brown would be responsible for covering $55,000 a year. Whatever that need is, we meet 100% of it for all 4 years with no loans. So, what's germane to financial support at any campus? Are you need blind? Are you need aware? Is your financial aid scholarship, is it merit-based or need-based? And do you meet 100% of demonstrated need? At Brown, we meet that need all 4 years with no loans to you, and it covers your housing both on campus and off campus, as well as your study abroad programs. On one end, unique to Brown, on the other, germane to the field. What feels prescient and wise for you all is to investigate the financial aid policies of the several institutions that you're considering. Next slide. I think we're almost done, which is awesome because we're cooking on time.
All right, thanks, Lawrence. So hi, everyone. Again, my name is Jackie Fulmar, and like I said earlier, I'm an assistant director of admissions at Yale. We are located in New Haven, Connecticut, which you can think of as being about halfway between Boston and New York City, and we have an undergraduate population of about 6,000 to 7,000 students. So, like many other colleges and universities across the country, we all want our students to flourish, not only in their academic lives, but also in their personal and their social lives. We also know that college is a really formative time for students. Many of our students are away from home for the first time and away from their families for the first time. So in this new environment, they're going to be exploring new classes, making new friends, and ultimately trying to figure out what they want to do with the rest of their lives. This is really hard, and we totally understand that. So because of this, our institutions provide numerous resources to help our students thrive while they're on campus. Perfect. No one should have to navigate college independently, and we want to support our students in all facets of their lives. So tonight, I'd like to talk about these campus resources specific to Yale, but also what they are, what they look like, and why they're important, so that you all can use the structure of campus resources at Yale to better understand campus resources at colleges around the country. So before I discuss sort of wellness and academic resources, I do want to discuss one thing that Yale and many other colleges believe is really crucial to helping our students thrive on campus, finding a community on campus. We know that our students are happier, healthier, and oftentimes more excited to learn when they feel embedded within these larger and oftentimes even smaller communities on campus. At Yale, for example, support for our communities is embedded right into the structure of Yale itself. So all of our students, for example, are assigned to one of our 14 residential colleges. You can think of the residential colleges as physical spaces where students sleep, they eat, they hang out, they study together. And each residential college ultimately functions as sort of a smaller representation of Yale so that you can make friends with people from a representative segment of the undergraduate community. Still, though, one of the important things to highlight is that many students actually find those communities on campus through extracurricular activities and or student organizations. We at Yale, for example, have over 400 student organizations, and these are going to range from things like performance groups to service groups to cultural center affiliated groups, the latter of which oftentimes offers students these opportunities to connect on the basis of a shared cultural identity. If you ask most students on Yale's campus, they're usually going to be involved in at least 2, maybe 3, maybe more extracurricular activities. And this is really a good thing for students. By sharing an activity or space with other students, oftentimes students are going to feel more connected with their peers and to their university setting. So one thing I want to drive home here is that participating in student organizations, you shouldn't think of them as taking away time from your academics. Instead, a lot of these communities, a lot of these student organizations serve as communities that enrich students' lives and in turn help them thrive academically as students once they're on campus. However, Yale also knows that sometimes students need additional and individualized support. So many universities, similar to Yale, have several resources that are designed to help students' mental health and their wellness when they're on campus. As we know, health and wellness are pretty broad topics, so let's break down a few types of services that can be available on a college campus. So most universities are going to offer clinical support services on campus. At Yale, for example, Yale Health is the medical center on campus, and all of our students are covered for appointments, surgeries, prescriptions, all under our Yale insurance plan that's included as part of the tuition to Yale. Additionally, we have something called the Yale Mental Health and Counseling Department and our Yale College Community Care Network, or YC3. And these two options provide free confidential mental health care to members of the Yale student community. So this sort of support can range between something like individual therapy and group therapy options. And in urgent situations, our students can ask to speak with an on-call clinician through either of these departments. And that's available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Okay. And then in terms of physical health and wellness, these are also really important parts of a student's mental health and well-being when they're on campus. One piece of advice that I have is to seek out these spaces to support your general wellness for relaxation, for working out, and everything in between. So at Yale in particular, you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, the Good Life Center is a specific space in the middle of our campus that offers students a place to relax, to decompress, and to recenter themselves. The center also runs programming that helps students think about what it actually means to live a good life on campus. And it also offers them workshops on student strategies that might help them work through challenges that they encounter while they're on campus. Further, you'll also want to understand what spaces are actually available to you to maintain your physical health as well. So for example, Yale has a large gym on its campus. It's called Payne-Whitney Gymnasium. But each residential college also has a gym in its basement. So that offers students convenient locations to be active at any time during the day. Another option for students in terms of maintaining their physical well-being might be club and intramural sports, right? You might want to join a team and compete in these athletic competitions. That's going to allow you to stay fit, stay active, but also engage with that community that I was talking about earlier. At the end of the day, all these resources are designed to help students be well. And these centers often go out of their way to contact students. So for example, the Good Life Center might send out a newsletter every week advertising those workshops that I mentioned earlier. So they'll host events in their spaces, they'll send out newsletters, and they'll encourage students to take advantage of those resources. So beyond supporting a student's well-being on campus, you should also consider how a university will support your academic journey once you arrive to campus. So all the colleges on this call, we are primarily academic institutions, right? And because of that, we offer different academic resources to help students succeed in their learning process. So continuous academic advising is one of the primary supports for students. So for example, Yale has something called a residential college dean, and they're someone who oversees the academic life of every student in their residential college. So every week, the deans will host office hours where students can come in and get advice on anything from career trajectory to academic trajectory. And then each residential college also has a specific network of advisors who specialize in different academic areas. So they might meet with a student who, say, wants some advice on how to structure their coursework to better apply to medical school. Or maybe a student is investigating employment for after graduation, and maybe they want to meet with the person on campus who is a dentist who's local to New Haven, right? So these are a couple of the advising networks that are available just through that residential college system. Another option might be tutors that are available locally to the student. So our residential colleges have tutors that are available. Their offices are actually just steps away from student dorms. And that's where students can receive additional help that's specific to a particular academic subject. And then in addition, we have course-specific tutoring or major-specific tutoring, right? So this is where a department that's running a class, right? They're going to organize specific opportunities for students to engage with them, to engage with their professors, to engage with peer tutors. So professors will oftentimes host something called office hours, which is a time during the week where our students can visit the professor in their office to discuss the course material. And students might also use this opportunity to develop relationships with their professors and to learn more about that professor's research interests. Maybe you take an interest from an hour that you spend sitting in a professor's office space. And maybe that ends up determining, the career trajectory that you end up taking because you engage with research with them after the fact. In addition, a lot of larger courses will hire undergraduate students who previously took the class to serve as peer tutors. So that also gives you an opportunity to engage across multiple levels, right? Maybe you don't feel quite so comfortable asking your professor who is, someone famous in their field for some help. So now you have engagement with a peer tutor who's someone who took the class maybe just last year, but you can feel a little bit more comfortable engaging with. One thing to look for throughout your college search process is also tutoring services on campus, right? So Yale's flavor of tutoring and pedagogical support is actually all coordinated through something called the Porvu Center for Teaching and Learning. It has a physical space in our main library on campus, and it runs a wide range of programming, from workshops on study habits to pairing students with tutors when they struggled on a midterm exam, or actually even engaging with our professors to better engage their students. So for example, some of our programming, the center employs a program called the Pedagogical Partners Program. This is actually a group of undergraduate students who are hired to help evaluate classes and to offer advice to professors to better improve their teaching strategies. Ultimately, though, Yale offers these academic and mental health resources to help its students flourish. And Yale is not alone in this, right? So while everyone on this call, while our individual resources might be named different things or take on different structures, we all share the same mission in helping you all flourish once you arrive to college. I encourage you all to use this section as sort of a framework to better understand and explore campus resources at Yale and at all the other schools on this call, and frankly, any other school that exists on your college list. And with that, I'm going to pass the baton to Abigail.
So ultimately, we want to see students on our college and university campuses thrive throughout their time as our students, but also into their time as our alumni. We want to support these students to that point and beyond and make sure that they have access to these services. I would love to echo something Jackie just shared in that while I will be discussing a lot of these services in the context of the University of Maryland and how we offer those, many of these supports are available at many colleges, and I would highly encourage you to look into these services or their similar services at the schools that you are interested in applying to and ultimately attending. So at the University of Maryland College Park, we do tons to support our students throughout their time with us, as well as into their alumni career, starting with our Career Center, which is pretty typically an installation on many college campuses. The UMD Career Center helps students, current students in the exploratory phase, as well as in the in preparation for current opportunities that they are looking for. So that career exploration or that exploratory phase might look something like networking events to help students connect with others, whether it be other students, potential employers, things to that effect, as well as workshops and panels to kind of hone those skills, identify strengths, and help a student progress in their chosen career path. There are also on-campus and part-time job meetups offering students the chance to come in and get an idea of what jobs are available to them right there on campus. They can meet with other students that are in positions as well as with people that are looking to fill these positions. So there are opportunities available right at these meetups. Additionally, we have an intern for a day program, and this is one of my favorite parts of the UMD Career Center. Full disclosure, I am myself a University of Maryland alumni, and the intern for a day program always fascinated me in that you can find someone that is in your field of interest and you can shadow them for a day and get that career experience, that hands-on experiential learning to explore what that career might look like and what it could mean for you in the future. In addition to kind of checking things out, feeling the waters, students can also receive help for current opportunities that they are pursuing. This might look like on-campus mock interviews. For example, in our business school, we have mock interview rooms, and companies will bring in interview representatives to interview our students, whether for real opportunities or for those mock interviews, so that they can go into those real interviews in the future, having those skills and ready to use them. Our Career Center will also help students go through their resume, reformat, add things, whatever they need help with there, so that they are prepared to put their best foot forward in the job search process. Additionally, headshots, very professional headshots are available for our students, and they are able to utilize those in the job search process or internships, research opportunities, whatever it is that they are looking to do. And finally, there are some online resources available to students so that they can learn these skills and hone them at their own pace. Now, once students have graduated with us, they are still able to use the Career Center, which is definitely one of my favorite features as a former student and current alum. We have a job board that will help alumni identify jobs that are available. They can meet with a TERP career coach that will help them navigate that career path even after graduation. So those exploratory phases, those preparations, they don't stop once you stop being a student. We offer 1-month career boot camps to alumni to allow them to gain and hone those skills and get ready for whatever career it is that they are seeking, as well as career guides that kind of walk them through what is available out there, what they can utilize to head into the path that they would like to go. Similar to for our current students, we do have online learning so that our alumni can engage with us at their own pace and utilize these services to prepare themselves as they need to. There's also a connection to UMD faculty as well as current students, which provides plenty of networking opportunities for alumni. Not to mention, alumni are able to network with each other. So by building these connections and these relationships through UMD and in continued relationship with UMD, our alumni are able to get out there and have more opportunities in their network for jobs, career paths, things like that. And finally, there are volunteering opportunities. There is something that you will have a lot of while you are on campus as a current student, but can be harder to engage with as you navigate that transition into the world on your own. So this gives you a formalized or a structured approach to continuing that volunteer and community service involvement with your campus community, or if your community is now off campus, wherever you are, there are volunteer opportunities available. In addition to our Career Center on campus, we do have pre-professional advising services available. Now, at the University of Maryland, College Park, these pre-professional advising programs are in addition to our students' majors and their advising services there. So if someone can be any of these pre-professional tracks and any major that they would like to be as well. They do not happen, they happen separately, but they complement each other. So these pre-professional advising programs will help students get ready for all aspects and processes associated with continuing education to professional schooling. There are many different services that we offer that you see here that support the wide variety of interests that our students have on campus. These services are extremely useful to not just current students, but alumni as they navigate that process in applying and attending ultimately their professional schooling of choice. This might look like help with graduate level standardized testing. It might look like making sure that a student in the pre-genetic counseling program is taking all of the necessary prerequisite courses they'll need to continue in professional school. And that goes for any of those programs. That's just to give one example. But these services are available to help students as they navigate the academic processes of attending professional schooling, the administrative processes of actually applying and matriculating there, and then beyond into their career path. So another aspect of supporting our students on campus includes our career fairs. And at the University of Maryland, we are very blessed as a large institution to be able to offer a wide variety of career fairs, including unique career fairs for our individual academic colleges. So I'll start with the campus-wide career fair. And this is for internships as well, which is important to note. So for students that aren't necessarily toward the end of their college career, maybe you're a freshman, maybe you're a sophomore, there are internship opportunities available at these fairs. So you can be there building your network early on and gaining experiential learning along the way. Or you could be there as a student on the other end of your career with us, and you could be looking for that job that you would like to land after graduation. So multiple different students, multiple different purposes and interests at these fairs, but there's such a variety of employers that are present, alumni, students, that all of these interests are served in one way or another. Similar to many of our services on campus, undergraduate students, graduates, and alumni are invited to attend these career fairs. So that speaks to that network building aspect that I talked about a second ago. Typically, we try to have about, or at least 300 employers from various sectors and industries on campus for these career fairs, really to cater to our students' very diverse set of interests. At such a large institution with so many different students, having that many employers present really does help students find those unique opportunities that are very fitting to them, their personality, and their academic pursuits. And we don't just hold this career fair and encourage students to attend. We do a lot of that, but we also offer opportunities to prepare for the career fair. Students can see who will be present in terms of employers. They can also participate in mock interviews and get some resume help to bring to that career fair to have it ready to present to those potential employers and for internship opportunities. Moving over to the departmental campus career and internship fairs, this is where it gets a little bit more specialized. So each of the departments that you see here have hosted a campus career and internship fair within the past year at UMD. And specifically, these career fairs exist to give these students in these departments those unique opportunities on a more individualized or more specialized basis. So while the students in econ networking can attend the campus-wide career and internship fair and are welcome to explore opportunities there, they can also attend that department-specific one, and hopefully will be able to network with others and find opportunities there that relate to exactly what they'd like to do or pretty close. We do this in multiple different schools to serve those different students, and we are always looking to expand or have more, specialized fairs where we can on campus. So once you have graduated and you are going off and braving the world, whether you're going to professional schooling, graduate schooling, going to work, whatever that career path is going to look like for you, our institutions want to support you as an alumni or as alumni students. Is at UMD, we specifically have a few different alumni networks that serve to connect our alumni from across the country and around the world. So one way we do this is in geography. We pair alumni or group them together based on where they live and have events there so that they can attend. This is great for alumni that live across the country and can't necessarily make it to campus for every event that we have, but they can still get that school spirit and those networking opportunities where they are located. We also have academic alumni networks based on your academic interests and what exactly you are pursuing in your career field. Affinity and special interest groups, alumni networks exist as well. We have networks based on industry, so where you are in your career path, what you are doing exactly. It might be engineering, it might be medicine, it might be teaching. There are multiple different industry networks that connect our alumni on the basis of their profession. We also have a TERP entrepreneur network so that students or former students, now alumni, looking to branch out and make their way as an entrepreneur in the world, have those resources to connect with and network with each other. And then we have some more fun opportunities or a little bit less career oriented in our virtual book club. So we bring alumni together and read a book of the choosing. I apologize. Read a book of the group's choosing, and they debrief on that. So that's just a fun social way to stay involved with our alumni networks. And then finally, current student engagement is definitely a big part of alumni networks at UMD and other colleges and universities, in that you have the opportunity to give back to current students in the way that the alumni were able to give back to you as a student at a college or university. So that can look like mentoring or working on campus with students or meeting with students virtually if you are not near that campus, things. And something to keep in mind as you are considering schools and you may be a current student somewhere is, do I want to connect with my alumni? What can they teach me? What does this network look like? And how important is that in the schools I am deciding? Because every school has alumni. So how you engage with them is definitely something to put some thought into. And with that being said, that brings us to the end of our webinar this evening. I'd like to thank you all for joining us and bearing with us through a few technical difficulties. If you would like to scan the QR code on your screen, you can learn more about the STARS College Network and all that we are up to. For those that ask some questions, maybe we're interested in some of the programs that we offer, that this is the best way to stay up to date with us in all things STARS. So I highly encourage you to give this a scan. And once again, thank you for attending tonight.